everybody. It's your girls. Let's get personal with Latonya and Ray.
Hey, how are you?
The next time you say your own name.
Yes, I don't know why you said it. She just wanted to say my name.
So
It sounds good though.
Say my name. Okay, baby. Hi, everybody.
And we are powered
by World Star Hit Radio
and Celebrity Media TV. Hey.
Well, I'm telling you, Ray, what would I do without you? Thank you for all your forgiveness. Thank you so much. And thank you for considering that I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I'm not perfect either, so it's okay. That's why we blend so well together. Two different personalities come together, and that's what you get.
Yes, and we want to let you guys know, all of you out there that has been subscribing to our YouTube channel, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot thank you guys enough. Keep up that good work. Keep that good energy going.
Press the button. Keep pressing the button.
Yes,
we see what you're doing.
Yes.
It's true. I mean, everybody, we appreciate you following us and subscribing to our YouTube channel and to our Instagram page.
Yes.
It's really important because, support is really big.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got the support behind you, it pushes you so much further.
Yes.
So definitely, we thank you and we love you. Tell all your friends about it too.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Ray, how have your day been today?
Good. I'm kind of battling a little bit with some sinuses.
Yeah, that's no joke.
The headache is real.
I thought you said you took some. You didn't take
every day for the last few days.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs to protect themselves with those sinuses. Take that Claritin or whatever it is. Definitely, because it's big right now.
Some Sudafed before I came here, but I was like, I'm gonna drink some coffee, so if I get too sleepy. But yeah, them sinuses is no joke.
Sudafed doesn't do anything for me to put me to sleep. I just keep going like a Duracell battery.
But you know what's funny? Because I'm naturally hyper, like anything that's meant to make me sleepy, it just
does the opposite.
Yeah, it does
me
the
too.
opposite. Yeah,
that's why
seriously.
You're my sis.
That's why. Hi, ADHD. No, I'm not gonna play with that because that's a serious thing. Yeah, she always says she do have it, but I thank God we never had to have any medicine.
It's just a joke.
But yeah, my week has been awesome. I've been learning a lot, but I'm just thankful to be here. Thankful to God that we made it another day, guys.
Yes.
Every day when we turn on the news, somebody is planning a funeral for one of their loved ones. And my heart goes out, my prayer goes out to all of you that are losing your loved ones, okay? I'm very sensitive to that.
Yes, because it's happening a lot. I mean, the world is so different now.
Yeah, it is.
It's so different. You really have to be careful, who you let in your life. You can't just let anybody in your life these days, You have to keep them far away until you want to bring them in.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And they're taking people's lives over this. It's like no words.
It's almost like there's no filtering. Like they're going from like 0 to 100 and making these decisions, and they're hurting people at the end of the day, and they're not thinking about it. And it's older and it's the younger generation too. So it's just awful out there. You just be really careful who you let in your life.
Yeah, and you know what's really hard too? It seems like every time you turn the news on now, it's about killing babies. People are killing these babies. It is, I'm like, every time we turn the news on, somebody have killed. It was a young man in Hall County, killed his 2-year-old, and then he killed himself. Then after that, I heard some people talking on my job about another baby being killed. I'm thinking it's the same guy, and it wasn't. It was somebody else different. It was a 3-year-old.
And that's supposed to be
every
love.
time you turn the news on.
That's a problem. Because what happened to love? You love your children, you love your parents, you're supposed to love someone enough that you would never want to hurt them. But they're taking love now, and it's like it's almost making people go crazy. And they're doing these things. A
lot of mental
and they say it's based off love. I don't understand that. I don't agree with it, and I don't understand it or agree with it. Yeah. So I'm not going for that.
Yeah. So you guys, we just want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank you. We send our prayers out to each and every one. Again, as I said, that has lost your loved ones. We are very sensitive when it comes to that. And we want you to know that we are with you guys praying and stuff. And I'm just excited to be here. So it's good to see everybody every day. And people wonder why I smile all the time, because I don't have nothing to be sad about. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on, but as long as you have life and air and breath in your body, you guys, it's a day to get it right, okay? And you know what? A lot of people have to start these mental challenges. That's what's going on a lot. If you need help, you got to reach out, you guys.
Get the help.
Yes.
Take the mask off and get the help, because a lot of people are smiling, and behind that smile is a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with the pain. You have to just hit it head on. You know, talk to who you need to. Just get through and deal with what it is so that you can get over it and move on.
Yes.
And we're gonna have a great show today.
Yes, you guys. We have the beautiful young lady Kimya Motley. We've been waiting. She's finally here. And we want you guys to stay tuned, because we will be back.
I'm set.
Hey. We are back, you guys. And we are with the beautiful drum roll.
Kimya.
Say that again. I can't hear you.
Kimya.
Kimya who?
Motley.
Hi, sweetie. Welcome. We've been waiting on you, girl.
I know. I've been so excited about coming on your show. I'm glad it all finally worked out so I could come hang out with you ladies.
Yes. I remember I seen your story, Kimya, some years ago, and it did something to me. I mean, I was crying, I was smiling, and I was just thanking God, you know, that you still here.
Yes, he's amazing.
So, gosh, girl. Yes. So, Kimya, I want you to tell all our listeners and viewers who you are and why you're here today to talk about.
So you want me to begin with my story?
Yes, we
Okay, so I want to say that it is a trigger warning. I always, before I start talking about it, I let people know that it could trigger something in them before I say anything. So I met the man that I thought was the man of my dreams. You know how we think about this when we're growing up. So I finally met him after years of unhealthy relationships. And I did the one thing that women do. I talked too much, and I told him everything that I wanted in a relationship.
Girl, and he gave
that
that
all
all to her too, right?
You don't do that.
Yeah,
Wow,
so I
crazy.
gave him the blueprint to my deception. You understand? So by the time we got married, we dated a whole year. All the things that people say you're supposed to do. We got married after a year, and the moment we got married, he took his mask off. He started really showing me who he was. So speeding through that first year of marriage, by our first anniversary, he hit me. Okay? Now, I grew up in a household where I saw domestic, I know. And I grew up in a household where I saw domestic violence happening regularly, so I thought this was normal. This is normal behavior. He's just supposed to tell me that he's sorry, I forgive him, and we go on. It's part of a relationship. And he did that. He promised me he wouldn't do it again. A month later, he did it again. So I filed a protective order. He moved out. He said, I want you back. We're going to do counseling. We did that for 3 years, okay? Back and forth. He didn't hit me anymore because he knew if he hit me, I was going to call the police. Okay. But he would do other things like throw Mountain Dew on me while I'm sleeping.
Oh, wow.
Turning the heat all the way up in the house in the middle of the summertime. Busting holes in the wall, breaking the refrigerator. And because you're married, it's his property, police aren't going to do anything about it. So he would terrorize me in those ways. Well, what was the final breaking point, he actually got into a fight with my son, who was 16 years old at the time. Okay. He beat him up badly. He was removed from our household. Okay. So still, this is going to sound crazy now, it is, because not knowing the dynamics of abuse, seeing it my whole life, he said, you know, just give me another opportunity. I'm going to go to counseling. We're going to go to counseling, do family counseling. Let me have another opportunity. Now, we never lived together again, but he told me he was going for that counseling because it was also a part of his probation period.
So he had to.
He had to, but he wasn't going. So when I found out that he wasn't going, I said, okay, that's it. I'm getting a divorce. I'm not going to do this with you anymore. And that's the number one thing you cannot do when you are an abused woman. You cannot tell them that you want to leave, that you want a divorce. But I didn't know that, so I did. And one morning I was going to go take my daughter to drop her off at daycare. I took her to daycare for before and after care every day. And I actually had a divorce paper sitting, riding on the passenger seat with me because I was going to go and file them that day. And actually, the last communication I had with him, he said, I can't wait for those papers to get here. That sounds like somebody who's accepting that we're going to have a divorce, right?
Okay.
Yes.
No. So that particular morning, I remembered it was raining, it was drizzling outside. And I pulled under the covering of the daycare center. And my daughter had one shoe on her foot and one shoe off her foot. Why she liked to ride in the car like that, I don't know. And I'm already running late. What do we as mothers say? You know, running late, get out of the car, get yourself over there, go put your shoe on. And she said to me, she said, well, Mommy, I have a piece of paper I need you to sign before you leave. So, like, I'm really fussing now because you know they're supposed to give us that piece of paper the night before, right? I don't see that he's going back and forth on the road in front of
the news,
But he's stolen his mother's car, too. So I wouldn't have recognized that it was him anyway.
Oh, okay.
So he pulled right next to me, actually. And so I went around to get something out of the car, and that's the only thing that's a little fuzzy. That's the only thing I really don't remember. I'm going to say it was that piece of paper that she needed me to sign. I closed the door, and he's standing as close as you are to me right now.
Okay.
And he said, I told you I was going to kill your ass, didn't I? And he shot me in my face. Right here.
Wow.
A bullet went in my face. Do you all really want me to give you the whole?
Honey,
go ahead.
I'm from
Let's get personal.
We personal because I seen this on the news, Kimya, and a lot of people that's sitting back. I kept saying, why did she see him? Because it just hurt me. You know what I mean? Because I always want women to try to protect themselves. If something happened to me, then people will be thinking too, like, she didn't see him come. You get what I'm saying? So now
sometimes
we understand
you're not
it.
paying attention.
Because it was on the news.
You're dropping your daughter off.
And
how old was your daughter?
She was 10 years old.
Yeah, it was on the news, and I was like, she didn't see him coming. I mean, I was just trying to.
It was raining.
It's
and plus
busy.
Parents,
so go ahead.
busy. I'm not paying attention to any shadows that are walking around
sweetie.
me.
Right.
Yes,
so
baby.
he shot me in my face on this side. Bullet went in, out this side, went in my car door and deposited in the pocket of my car door. Okay. So at this point, I'm thinking, I'm going to run. I'm going to try to get away from him. I didn't make it very far. I could see the playground in the distance, and I'm thinking I'm going to just run towards the playground. And then he shot me in the side of my neck, here. And at that point, I fell down to the ground. So I'm beating the ground, and I'm going, no, 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 no. And he shot me in the back of my head.
Wow. What were you like in a lot of shock? What were you like
thinking at that moment?
What were you thinking at that moment, Kimya?
That who was gonna take care of my children? Yeah. When he shot me in the side of my neck, I thought, I'm going to die. That was the first thought, I'm going to die. And then by the time he shot me in the back of my head, I'm thinking
that's the third bullet.
Back of the head is the third.
Okay.
Yeah. So it sounded much like the 4th of July. So I hear these shots going out. So I'm thinking he's firing a lot of bullets, and it wasn't. The sheriff said it was just because I was shot at such a close range that it sounded like that. But I could feel him walk away from me because he stood over me like execution style to shoot me in the back of my head. So I felt him walk away from me. So I'm trying to turn my head to locate where my daughter is. Because remember I told you I fussed at her. I told her to go get on that ramp and put your shoe on.
And you going through this, Kimya, and while you blood everywhere and you all of these books.
I'm just thinking about her and my son. So I turn and I see that she's still sitting on that ramp. And I saw her head drop. But, y'all, I just assumed that her head dropped because she didn't want to see what was happening to me. Right? So he walked back over to me one more time. And he shot me in my back. He got into his mother's vehicle. And he drove away. Now, I'm shocked, just like you are right now, that I am not dead. And I'm fully alert and awake about what's going on.
Whole thing.
I got up off the ground and I ran over to my daughter and I said, look, mommy's old. Because I wanted to tell her that I'm okay. And to my astonishment, he shot her in the head as well. Yeah.
Wow.
When did you realize that?
As soon as I got over there to her, he shot her on the left side, right in the front of her head at point blank range.
And that's why her head fell down.
Yeah.
For him to
Wow.
be that close, you would have been gone like.
But what about
God.
anybody there that
Yeah.
could help?
It
Or
was very early in the morning, and I'm usually amongst the first people to get there. There were 2 daycare workers inside and one little boy, from what I remember. He was probably 2 years old. And no one came out because you hear all these bullets.
They're hiding.
flying.
Oh,
They're
okay.
hiding.
They're scared.
Okay.
So I'm still in mommy mode. I picked her up and took her up the ramp. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to die out here in the street like some dogs. So I'm banging. I leaned her up against the little railing thing. So I said, just, hold on here a minute. Go ahead and try to bang on the door. No one comes to the door. And when I tell you that God was all over this whole thing.
Come on now. I'm telling you.
They had just changed the security system where you had to input 2 different numerical codes to get in. And I always had to pull the card out of my purse in order to get in the building. For some reason, those numbers popped in my head. And I put the numbers in, the door bust open. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to prop the door. I'm going to get her. She gets up and walks in behind me.
wow.
So,
That's
I
amazing.
totally shocked. Now, I'm not going to go into all of what happened when we went in there because it got a whole lot worse for her, not me. I remained awake the entire time, but she went in and out of consciousness, in and out of consciousness. The helicopter came, life flighted her to the hospital. Ambulance came and took me to the hospital.
Wow.
Oh, God.
It's like you
And
just
you
put
are,
yourself.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
What hospital did you go to?
Atlanta Medical.
Okay. Okay.
Trauma, Atlanta Medical, or Grady?
Because I was at Grady ICU, so
Yes.
we did save lives.
Yeah.
For real. Oh my
That's-
God. Kimya.
That story is wow. So it's like you just put yourself aside and just was like numb and just went straight for your child.
That's it. Well, when I got shot, I only felt the first bullet. I didn't feel the other
Kimya,
3.
I think that was shock though.
Yeah. The first one was pain that was very distinctive, but the rest, it was just like pressure that I felt. And I just went into mommy mode.
Mommy.
You know,
Mhm.
that's it. I didn't go out until the doctors put me out when I got to the hospital. I can laugh about it, of course now. But one of the doctors leaned all the way over to the side and he said, wow, she has a huge hematoma. I said, what is that hematoma? I'm yelling at him. And the doctor is trying to touch my neck and I'm slapping his hand. I said, there's a bullet over there. Don't touch that. That hurts.
Oh
I
God.
like put her out, Like, Lord, just let me wake up from whatever it is.
Kimya,
these
so
people
where
trying
are
to do.
the
You really can't see.
Like-
Okay, so you can see here where they did the exploratory and open my neck. You see that? Okay, and there's one. I can't really tell.
Look, you gotta make it so we can
you,
see it. We can't
you know
tell
what? You
nothing.
can't even tell.
You can't see
Look
it,
how good
Kimya.
God is.
See, they put clear stitches and pulled them real tight, so I have a little dimple there. I didn't have a dimple there before. Now I do.
Kimya, oh! And remember back in the days we wanted a dimple so bad we could squeeze our mouth in. I know my
That's
brother
why I
used to
got
do
one
that.
there, and then it came out here, close to my lip. Now the one on my back, you can see they didn't try to really conceal it. In the back of my head, you can see it. They didn't try to conceal it, but my face, they did a good job. I lost most of my teeth in the path that the bullet took, but I'm like, it could have been worse. I'd just be without some
Worse,
teeth.
you couldn't have been here.
Yeah,
Oh my
relax.
God. Kimya, so how did that take you mentally? What did you have to go through mentally with going through? I mean,
We went through a lot,
Ooh.
a whole lot. Again, as a mom, my first thought was always her and my son. Okay, so I did the work that I needed to do. I went through individual counseling. We went through family counseling. We did all of that. My daughter, which is amazing. Let me back up to her
Yes,
just a minute. So she had to learn how to walk again, talk again, feed herself, read, write, all of that stuff, right? To this day, she's still in counseling, and she's so good about it. She'll go, "Hey, can you call up Margaret? I need to talk to her." You know, you would never know that happened to my child at all, but she still takes care of that mental piece of it.
Wow. And she'll probably have to deal with that. That's tragic.
That's Jesus. She could have been even you. I mean, you could have been paralyzed. I mean, anything. So, where is he at today?
He's in prison. He was given 65 years with 50 to serve, and that's like an unprecedented sentence because we didn't die. Everybody kept saying, "Well, you all didn't die. I need you to be prepared. He's not gonna get that much time." But I asked Judge Nation. I said, "I need you to set precedents in this case." Because I don't want another male in Rockdale County to think that he can get away with doing something like that. So he gave him the maximum.
Has he tried to contact you?
Yeah, no, we have a permanent no contact order.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about his mother?
No, they have not. They tried to contact me right after the incident because she really, okay, you ready?
Yeah,
she
we
really
ready, sweetie.
wanted
We ready
her
to-
son to get off.
Yeah.
Because we lived, she felt like God gave us a second chance. She wanted a second chance for her son as well. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's one thing we said about mothers. It's got to be a line between this. Now her son just.
I can understand it now because, like, when you raise your child, you raise them a certain way, and you don't believe that they're going to do something like that. You still want to see that good in them, that good son that you raised. I mean, she was a teacher like me. You know, she came from a family that both his paternal and maternal grandfathers were pastors. So they raised him right, you know. So she just was probably having a very hard time accepting that her son had done something like that.
Wow.
So he got 65 years, wasn't it? And how old is he now?
I don't know. Let's see. He's 43. I'm 46.
So
he's
won't
43.
He won't be getting out.
Yeah.
That's touching.
That makes you feel safe.
Yes.
You know.
And how does your daughter feel about her father, knowing that that's her dad?
Well, actually, he's not her father. He came into our lives when she was 5, but she told everyone that was her dad. They had an awesome relationship before that happened. So that's the part that's still hard for her to wrap her mind around. I mean, he was in the construction, so if he bought a hammer for himself, he bought a hammer for her. He had a tool kit, she had a tool kit. They rode horses together and 4-wheelers together.
So that was her dad.
That was her dad.
That was her dad.
That was her dad.
So what are some of the things, Kimya, that would trigger him, like what you would do around the house, or you would trigger him to, I mean, it's no excuse period for abuse, but I'm just asking you.
Well, I'm really trying to think. You couldn't tell what it would be, and that's the problem that a lot of women have. You feel like you're walking up on eggshells. There's a cycle of abuse. You go through this honeymoon where everything is great and wonderful, and he's back to being your knight in shining armor, and then you feel this tension building, and you don't know where it's coming from. And then all of a sudden there's an explosion, and he feels sorry that he did that. Then you get honeymoon again. That honeymoon period is shorter and shorter and shorter every time you accept it and go back. So different things. One, he had a condition. He had sarcoidosis. And back then, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Bernie Mac, the comedian, had passed away from it right around the time he was diagnosed with it. So he thought, I'm going to die. All right? So that's one of the things that is a huge red flag that women need to understand. There are 3 escalating factors that lead to murder in an abusive relationship. 3.
Okay.
Number 1, if you are the man's source of income or he loses his source of income. Number 1.
Number 1.
Okay? I wouldn't even set it up in a situation.
Wait, just say that again, Kimya.
All right. Number 1 is you are the male's source of income or he loses his source of income. That's the number 1 escalating factor, right?
Okay.
Number 2 is if he has a disease that is terminal or he thinks is terminal. That's the number 2 escalating factor that leads to murder. And number 3, you tell him you're going to leave, he thinks you're going to leave. Within 2 years, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, but 2 years of leaving. That's the 3rd escalating factor. I had all 3. My ex-husband had a business, a construction business, and it was failing, but I didn't know that. He didn't tell me he was having financial trouble. Number 2, he found out he had sarcoidosis. Bernie Mac died of sarcoidosis. He thought, I'm going to die. And on top of that, I tell him I want a divorce.
So what would you tell our listeners and viewers, what are the signs to look for early on? Because I know that it's hard to notice at first.
It is.
Because like you said, honeymoon, everything's good. But I'm sure there were red flags that you saw. What would you...
Well, now that it's over, I can tell the red flags. When you've gone through abuse, your fight or flight mechanism is turned off, so you can't even detect when there's really some danger going on. Number 1, if he's very controlling.
Yes.
And control can look like different things.
Yes, it
could
can.
be, you know what, that shirt, I don't like that you're showing too much, you know, up here. You don't ever need to wear that shirt again. I don't want other men looking at you, you know, that's just for me. And you think, oh, that's cute.
Right?
It's not.
Right?
It's not.
I'm gonna wear it for him.
I know. So he says he just wants me to wear it for him. So that controlling thing is big. A lot of jealousy. They're always accusing you of calling people, talking to people. I bet you're seeing people. That's a red flag. Well, a lot of times if they're doing that, they're probably the ones that's doing it.
Or they
That's
doing it themselves.
they're
My
doing
mother
it.
taught me that. Or even if they're not doing it, they're thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
When they try to limit your contact with family and friends, that's another thing that isolate you from your support system. I talked about in my book that when I got married, the day I got married, right before we had our dance, he came over to my cousin and he said to her, now all that talking and stuff y'all been doing, all that hanging out, that's gonna stop. Okay, because she's married now.
But he had a smile on his face. Yeah, you probably played it off.
Bought and paid for it. I said, "Oh, girl," he said, "I've been bought and paid for it." I belong to him. That's okay.
And you didn't know it was like.
I know.
Your cousin probably was like,
yeah. No, he was serious. He was dead serious.
Wow.
You know, because you know, a lot of times with men that are abusive, once they feel like they've got you, that's when they change. So that could be you've gotten pregnant by him, he takes the mask off. You move in, he takes the mask off. Okay. For me, it was once we got married. That's when everything changed. I'm like, who is this person? You know, he was nothing like, and then a lot of times we'll say, well, he changed. No, he didn't. That's really who he was at first.
Yeah, it's gonna come out. Yeah.
He's just showing you now because I got you. You know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you have Haven of Light.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. That is beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can you tell
I
everybody
will.
about that?
So my organization is Haven of Light International, and it was birthed from this pain. Actually, I was in the hospital, and they moved me from ICU to a regular room. And there was a password connected to my room that no one could see me unless they knew the password. My family didn't do a great job of passing that out amongst themselves, so there were some people that couldn't even come to see me. But 2 strangers walked in off the street into my room at Atlanta Medical at different times. One of them said, "Girl, I saw your story on the news. It caused me to leave my man today."
Oh.
You know, so I'm looking at her like, okay. You know, another one said, "Your story caused me to believe in Christ again."
Yes.
And all I could think is, who are these women and why are they coming in my room? You know, I'm just trying to heal. That's where my mind was. I want to get out of here. I want to get over there with my daughter. But I knew then that God was saying, no, you're going to help women. So what we do right now is we help women that go through crisis, but we do crisis intervention. Okay. So if someone calls me and says they're going through domestic violence, I help them decide what they need to do. They want to go into a shelter. If they want counseling, we offer Christian-based counseling. They want a support group. You know, that's what. Be clear about the money. We don't always have resources to money.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that's like the biggest thing. That's the problem. but we can help with like connecting them to organizations that help with, you know, your household bills, your utilities, things like that. So we also, what's really crazy, but I absolutely love, is I help with batterers intervention programs too. I go into those programs and I actually talk to the men that are doing the battering so that they don't become like my ex-husband. We have teen programs because you want to prevent. You don't just wake up one day and get shot by your husband, right? Yeah. There were all kinds of crazy things I was doing as a teenager that somebody really needed to be coming into my life saying, hey, baby, don't do that. So we do different teen programs as well.
So beautiful. So where can they donate?
Yeah, you can go to our website. Yes, donate. Donate is a good thing.
It's a good cause.
Yes, blessed to give.
Yes,
and to receive.
It's havenoflightint.org. Havenoflightint.org.
Gosh.
Yes.
This has been awesome, Miss Kimya. I mean, we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna have you on again because we need to answer a lot of questions. This is so many questions we wanted to ask you, but of course we can't do it all one segment. We love you. We appreciate you coming on. You will be back on again because there's more and more women in this world, and we do support you, and we are going to support you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Thank you.
Yes, we thank you.
I'd have been sitting here all day. So, hey, you guys, you got to keep it locked, okay? And we need you to go support Mrs. Kimya Motley, okay, you guys? We love all of you, and thank you so much. You guys, stay tuned because we will be back.